Joseph was the son of Jacob and lived with his family in the land of Canaan. Out of all his sons, Jacob loved Joseph the most. To show that love, Jacob gave Joseph a special gift, a beautiful coat made of many colors. It wasn't just a piece of clothing. It was a symbol of favor, and everyone could see it. Joseph's brothers noticed the favoritism, and it hurt them deeply. Their feelings turned into jealousy, and jealousy slowly became anger. Things grew worse when Joseph began having dreams. In these dreams, his family bowed down to him. Joseph shared the dreams, not realizing how they sounded to his brothers. They didn't hear hope or purpose. They heard pride, and their resentment grew stronger. One day, Joseph's father sent him to check on his brothers, who were working far from home. When the brothers saw Joseph coming toward them, wearing that colorful coat, their anger boiled over. They talked about killing him. Instead, they threw him into a deep pit. Later, when traders passed by, they sold Joseph as a slave and watched as he was taken away. Joseph was carried off to Egypt, alone, afraid, and betrayed by the very people who should have protected him. His brothers took his coat, covered it with blood, and told their father that Joseph had been killed by a wild animal. In a single day, Joseph lost his family, his freedom, and the life he knew. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to a man named Potiphar and forced to work as a slave. But even in this painful situation, something important was happening. God was with Joseph. Whatever Joseph did, he did with excellence, and soon his master noticed. Joseph was placed in charge of the entire household. Just when life seemed to be improving, everything fell apart again. Joseph was falsely accused of a crime he did not commit and was thrown into prison. Once more, it looked like his future was gone. But even there, God had not left him. In prison, Joseph gained favor and responsibility, just as he had before. While in prison, Joseph discovered that God had given him a special ability to understand the meaning of dreams. Years later, Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, had troubling dreams that no one could explain. Joseph was brought out of prison and stood before the most powerful man in the land. With humility and confidence, Joseph explained the dreams and warned that a great famine was coming. Pharaoh believed Joseph. In a moment that could only be described as God's timing, Joseph was promoted from prisoner to leader, second in command over all of Egypt. He helped prepare the nation for the famine, storing food so lives could be saved. When the famine spread, Joseph's brothers traveled to Egypt searching for food. They stood before Joseph, not recognizing him, and bowed down, just as he had dreamed years before. Joseph now had power over the men who betrayed him. He could have taken revenge. Instead, he chose forgiveness. Joseph revealed who he was and said something that changed everything. He told his brothers that although they meant to harm him, God used it all for good, to save lives and fulfill a greater purpose. The pain, the betrayal, the prison, and the waiting had not been wasted. Joseph reunited with his family and saved them from hunger. What once looked like a broken story turned out to be a story of hope, redemption, and purpose. Joseph's life teaches us that favor does not mean an easy journey. Setbacks do not mean God has abandoned us, and betrayal does not cancel God's plan. Sometimes the path forward looks like a step backward, but God can use every season of life, even the painful ones, to prepare us for something greater. If you are waiting, hurting, or wondering whether your story will ever make sense, remember this: your story is not over yet.